Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a great weekend. I'm taking a few minutes to set up my stream and also I can see what I need to do, and I can also see the comments as people come in. It's a cloudy day here today. I didn't think it was supposed to be cloudy. I planned on it being sunny, but it's cloudy. That's fine. I wasn't going to do anything. I'm still trying to recuperate from a week with Remy, but I'm getting there. As you come in, say hello. I hope you have your beverage of choice. You got a few minutes. If you don't, go get one. I have my tea. Like I said, I'm trying to recuperate from a week with Remy. She kept me going. Oh my gosh. Every time I turned around, what are we doing now, Gigi? What are we doing now, Gigi? She is a trip. She made so many cards. She had so much fun. Yesterday, we came up before we had to leave because we had to finish up her shrinky dinks. And she said we had finished or she had finished and I was doing my thing because I had to cut it out. And then I was putting it together and everything. She says, Gigi, can I make a card? I said, as long as you can get it done before we're ready to go. So she grabbed stuff. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. She grabbed it. She really likes that Hey Chuck set, especially the chicken in the underpants. Oh my gosh, I could not believe how much she loved that thing. She just thought it was the funniest thing for a chicken to be in underpants. But hey, all kinds. So we'll see. But I met her mom yesterday, took her back. And it was interesting because I got there and I was talking to Zoe and I said, what do you want to do when you come down for your week? I said, now we have limited time because Mom and Remy are coming down on Thursday and then you guys are leaving on Sunday. I get her on Sunday. And she says, what? How dare them interrupt or hog into my week with Gigi? And I went, whoa, I did not expect that at all, but that's fine. Her mom did say, I don't have to come. We can meet up, so I don't know if that will change or not, and it just started raining here. No wonder it was so dark. It was going to rain. I didn't think we were going to get any rain. Anyway, I have, I'm using the paper and the stamp set. Now, not the gems because I'm using ribbon today instead, but I'm using the paper and the stamp set that I'm using for my class in August. I have announced the beginner plus. I'm going to announce the advanced later tonight. Like I said, I'm playing catch up. I'm way behind, but I'm going to get that one out tonight so that you can sign up for that. I love using pattern paper with stamp sets that don't go with it. And the Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper has gorgeous paper in it. But I really didn't think I wanted to use, first of all, I don't even know. Let's see, does it go with a stamp set or not? Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I'm going to pull out my catalog and see. No, it just says that some of them coordinate with the inked and tiled, and I didn't want to use that. So I looked at it and I said, well, there's several different seasons on here. There's spring, there's summer. You can, use it for different things. So I'm going to use it with the Season of Chic stamp set. It's a great stamp set to use with it because of the fact that it goes so well. So let me get one more sip and we'll get started. I say I have two people in here. If you're watching, say hello. Don't be shy. Okay, move that out of the way so I don't make a mess. And I'm going to pull over all right, I think I've got it straight. Or pretty straight. Okay, so I'm going to pin my page. There we go. All right, so this is the Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper. Now, I will tell you, I have used this one with, I think, Petal Park. I've used this one with the Hey Janice, the Timeless Charm, which is an online exclusive. This one, I lent my set to somebody, but this one would go with the lemon set. This one could be used with the Cheerful Daisy set. This is the inked and tiled one. This one, I think it's the inked and there's a set of dies. I can't remember which it is. I used it on my card thing. Oh, maybe it's the Paper Florist dies. There's one in there that, depending on how you put the back piece on, it can be a tulip or it can be another flower. I discovered that one. I've used that one with Petal Park. This one could be used with, there's a stamp set that has that. I don't remember which, but the rest of these, this one is fun. It's got swans all over it. And then there's a few black and whites thrown in there, making it fun. Paper to play with. All right. As I said, I'm using the Season of Chic stamp set, and I'm using the leaves, the flowers, and the shells. I did not do the snowflakes. I can't do snowflakes just right now. And they've got some great sentiments. I love this one, and I just take off the U and say, make each season of life even more beautiful, rather than the you make. So wishing you the best birthday ever. Some cute sentiments in there. And then the dies that go with it. And I did pull out the dies for the leaves, and there's a bunch of different ones. I'm not going to use them for the flowers, and I didn't pull out the ones for the shells. I haven't decided on that, so I may be doing it. Now, what I have done is I have taken one layout, and I'm going to show you 3 different ideas with it using that paper. All of my pieces are the same, so I'm going to share it with you. My card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Calypso Coral that's 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of white that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, so it's 1/8 of an inch smaller. I have another piece of Calypso Coral that's 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. I have another piece of white that's 2 1/4 by 4. And I have a piece of pattern paper, the DSP, that's 1 3/4 by 3 7/8. So those, I'm going to use these same measurements, but change it up a bit. So I'm going to take all of this, and I'm going to leave this here. I won't repeat the sizes on all of them, but I'm going to start with this. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in my stamps. And I thought I had gotten, yeah, here's my scrap paper. I want to stamp, and I'm stamping these. I'm using 2 different colors for this. I am using Misty Moonlight, which is the ink in there, as well as the Night of Navy. And I'm just going to stamp that one there. The rest of these I'm going to cut out. And then I'm going to use my navy with the other one. All right. Okay, I may stamp on here, depends on what it looks like. So let me cut these out. And, well, I didn't grab paper. Let me grab scrap paper real quick. No, that's Blueberry Bushel. No, that's my navy. No, it's not. Maybe it is. Is this my navy? Yes, this is my navy. All right, I've got that. And then I need Misty Moonlight. Oh, that's blueberry. There's a Misty Moonlight. Couldn't find it. So I've got some scrap paper and I'm going to do some die cutting. All right, so let me set this up and get these cut real quick. I probably should have had the pieces cut out beforehand, but like I said, I am playing catch up with having had Remy all week. I think I can get this on here. I hope you got to see her. She had such a blast doing my Facebook Lives. It was interesting because I met with her mom. When I met her mom yesterday, she says, it's a shame she didn't show some of her personality. And I said, oh, she did at the end. She was a little nervous at first, but she got better. All right. As time went on, all right, here's that and that. And I got this one to get out. And then I just have to cut this last one and we can put this together and finish our card. I couldn't decide how many to do, so we'll just do a bunch, and if I have too much, no big deal. Now I do need some dots on this back piece. I'm trying to think which stamp set I have has dots. Let me look real quick and see if I can find some dots. I have several sets that have them, but some of them are bigger and I'm not real fond of the big dots. I like the little dots. I have to get better about splattering. All right, I think I'm going to use the dots from Quiet Meadow. Hopefully, they're pretty big. I'll just use a light hand. All right. Okay. Like I said, I am behind, and I think I'm going to stamp this in the Misty Moonlight because it's lighter. And I'm going to bring in a scrap paper. Sorry about this. I'm just grabbed one. I need to clean out my scrap paper. All right. I'm going to off stamp it. I just think it'll look better off stamped. There we go. Just a little bit of splatter for the fun of it. All right, now let's get all of our pieces here. Get all of the, and I can't find half my stuff because she's used it. Like, where's my pokey tool? There's that and that. Let's see, is it in my container? No. Let me grab my pokey tool from my other table. If I can find it over here. Here we go. Like I said, she would just come up here and use stuff when she first started, she didn't clean up at all, but she got better as she started, as the week went on and she started doing things. She would put things away because I said, now you got to put my inks and all away, my markers, so I know which ones they go with. So she did that. She got better with it. Okay. Let me see. Oh, it still says I have two, but Janice is the only one. Well, maybe one of those is me. All right, so I've got my pieces here. I'm going to take my bigger pieces and I'm going to put them on in the background. she was really getting into the, I'm looking for my, here it is, the tape runner. All right, I'm going to put that one here. I'm not going to add a sentiment to mine. You know me, I don't use a lot of sentiments. That way I can use them as I see fit. All right, and I'll put that one there. All right, come on. I'm going to put a block on top of it just so it'll stay. Now I'm going to add these two next, and I'm going to reverse the colors. The Misty Moonlight is here, so I'm going to do navy and then the Misty Moonlight. So let me get some. By reversing the colors, I add some interest. And I'm not worried about my tips because I'm coming down because I want to see some of these leaves. I'm going to add a bow. Couldn't think. I had some of the well-suited twine combo pack. It was gray and navy. I pulled it out because I needed navy. So always check your stash. You may have what you need in there. And use it. I mean, we all have stash left over. It's just one of those things. You know, we all want the new and shiny stuff. But all right, I'm going to pull this one out so you can see it, because if you don't, you can't see that one. Come on. Why is that one being difficult? This one, too. Let me get my block on there so they stay put. All right, let me put my card together other than that piece. All right, so I've got this. Here's my card base. I went for colors that would go together. Hey, Joy, since this is all basically navy, I decided to pull in a color or blues, I should say. Blue and coral, in this case, Calypso coral, or an orange, are great color combos. So that's what I used. I'm going to put my white on. I'm going to add that. I went back to my picture so I know what I'm doing. This goes on like this, and there's a slight border. Now, if you want more of a border, if you struggle with the tiny borders, just instead of making this 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, make it 3 3/4 by 5. You just get a bigger border. All right. The next thing I need is my pattern paper. And I'm going to add that. I'm going to put my pin in. And then this piece is going to go across the middle, or as close to the middle as I can get. I don't sweat if it's not exactly in the middle. And then we're going to add this to here. Now I put that pin in and I need it for this. All right. I'm looking around. Oh, there's my glue dots. I was going to say, where are my glue dots? Okay. Now you can easily add, again, make this smaller, or I would do is make this one bigger. This one was 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. Make it 2 1/2 by 4 1/4 if you want a bigger border. Now this is going to go on with dimensionals, And I did cut a bunch of dimensionals before I started so that I had them. Didn't have to take time, but I can see I'm using them up, so I may be cutting more. Do you guys go through the dimensionals like I do? Oh my gosh. I feel like all I'm doing is adding dimensionals. Put that there. All right. And I don't think that one came off. No, it didn't. It popped up, but it didn't come off. She moved my trash can on me. Oh my gosh. Like I said, it's going to take me all day today and tomorrow to get things back where they're supposed to be. All right, let me have this. Oops, upside down. Now this is going to go on right like this. And if you would rather have the splatters on the outside, you can easily do that. I do not. I wanted it clean and simple. All right, now I'm going to make a multi-loop bow, but these are all going to be the same size. I'm going to use 3 fingers. And kind of find the ribbon scissors. Sometimes my multi-loop bows are different sizes, and sometimes they're all the same. So now that I've got it there, I'm going to put it here. And if you struggle with this, use your reversible tweezers to hold it. And then you don't have to use that your extra hand to. All right, now I'm pulling it, but I'm not going to tighten it or do the other knot till I look and see if it's centered. Once it's centered, then add your second knot. All right, let me cut this off. Get rid of this. Okay, here's this and this. All right, yeah. The other thing is sometimes, I got to move my head. Sometimes this piece gets twisted up in your bow. If that happens, I go in and pull it to the back just because it'll lay better, or the front, whichever way you want to do it. All right, now I need my glue dots. Here they are. I'm going to put a glue dot on here. All right, there's one right there. Oh, I missed it. All right, there. And then I pinch it off, especially on this thin stuff. And then this is going to go here. And then to give it some more interest, take your loops and spread them out. I just kind of pull on it lightly, and I pull up and down. And then I am not going to trim these because it's going to go in. Hey, Betty Ann. I agree, Joy. Better to have, because it's flexible, it'll go into the card. So there's the first layout. Now I'm going to put it over here so that you can see. And the next card I'm going to do is using the flowers. And I chose to use Berry Burst and Petal Pink. All right, here's my piece that I'm starting with. I'm going to clean my dots real quick. Pull in my thing. And again, these sizes are the same as the first one. So keep that in mind. All right. I'm going to pull back over my scrap paper. And I'm going to do these dots with the petal pink. And I can't, and I will tell you, if you double stamp it, there's nothing there. So don't off stamp it. All right. This card is going to go, this one was in portrait. This one's going to be landscape. And see, this is light enough that it's not going to matter. Joy, I don't feel guilty about it with the fact that I cut mine in half. So, all right, so I've got that. Put that right in my cleaner. Right. Let's do the cards or the flowers. Now, I will tell you, when I look at this stamp, there's a flat edge here. All right. And then there's a double hump there. To get the outline, there's a flat part here and a flat part here. So I kind of play with it. There is a double hump, but it might be over here that there's a double hump. So I stamp this one first, and I'm going to use my petal pink. And I'm not worried about the fact that I have these dots everywhere. All right, so I'm going to stamp that one. The dots just add some interest. And this is gonna go off. So rather than get it on my mat, I'm gonna pull this back in. So it's off a little bit. Now, I will probably add a sentiment here when I, before I post it. So now, this is my, I've got to check. My pad is really juicy. See, let's see, can I? All right. I'm just going to tap it one time. So I've got to see. Ooh, I've got it. Of course, now sorry, I'm going to get my head in the way because I can't see. I should have stamped my outline first, I think. Ooh, I'm off, but that's okay. All right, pull this back in. Stamp your outline first. That one's better, although that side's lighter. But hey, it's a handmade card. All right, so there's that one. And let's get our card put together. And you be thinking, would you rather me do the last card, portrait or landscape? So you'll have to let me know which you would prefer. You'll see this. And, oh no, never mind. I know what I was doing. I was going to do some other things. I kept thinking, why did I do 3? And then it hit me. I'm shifting some pieces. All right, so I've got this. All right. Now, this piece is supposed, if we follow that one, should be in the middle. I'm going to shift it over and put it to the side, like so. I'm going to give myself a nice border here. It looks a little off, just slightly. There. All right, now this piece is going to go on here, and as you see, it does need a sentiment down in that corner, but that's okay. I will get it. All right, here we go. Let me see what's in here that I can use. Let's see if the make each season, I don't know if it's too long. Yep, too long. Can't use it. So let me put it back in here. I'm not going to worry about matching it up. Let me see. Got all these extra pieces that I haven't used. Let's try the You Are Amazing. I'll get it all straight later. Okay, that one works. That's the one I'll use. Like I said, I cut these pieces and I can't bear not to use them. So they end up in here and I have a mess with them. I need this block. And I think I'm going to do this in Berry Burst. The card base is Berry Burst, Joy. All right, now I've got to stamp this off, I know, because it's really dark. All right. This ink pad is so juicy. I'm going to move it up. There. This is the ink pad that was messed up that they said to rinse and then ink it up. It's still not working right. I'm not sold that that's a good thing to do. I did go and see if I could find some foam. And the foam I found, unfortunately, is a 1/2 inch, and I need a 1/4 of an inch. So I'm back to square one on trying to find, dropped my glue, put my pin back in there so that it doesn't harden. That was the one thing she did not use, thank heavens. Betty Ann, you will be glad to know I sent her home. I realized I had a ton of paper pumpkin ink spots, and I had duplicates. So I went through, I pulled out all my duplicates, and I sent her home with a bunch of those. So she went home with a bunch of minis. And then I remembered when my sister passed away, because she was a crafter also, she had a bunch of ink pads, and I took some of them because nobody was going to take them. Nobody was going to use them. So I had duplicates of the big ones. So I sent her home with a whole bin of the big ones. So she went home with a lot of ink pads that she can now add color to her cards. Now, for this one, I did not have a skinny ribbon, but I do have this ribbon from when it was, again, I shopped my stash. This is retired ribbon, and it is Berry Burst. It was from when it was in color. I think I have the, yeah, yay, Gigi. She was so excited. It was so funny because I mentioned that I was going to have to send her with some of my brushes. Well, Barb came to my class yesterday. Barb Eddy lives next door to me. She had to go to Havelock to the Walmart down there. I'm cutting this in half is what I'm doing. I want a skinnier ribbon or bow. And across the street is the Dollar Tree. She went in and she bought her 5 blending brushes. She was so excited to tell her mom that Barb had bought her those blending brushes. She was so excited to do it. I did not send her with any stencils. I need to go through and see what I have, and they'll be back in August and I can send her. Now, where did I cut it? Which side did I cut? this side. I don't know how this one frays. We'll find out. Probably not as good, although it's doing okay. You have to get all those little pieces out first. And I'm not gonna, sometimes I save these longer ones and make a bow with those. I'm not doing it this time. All right, so I'm pulling the threads. And once you get the little ones out, it goes fairly easy. All right, where's the other one? Here it is. Every once in a while, you'll get a snag because there's a piece that's messed up. I just love the look of the edge of this when you fray it. So I fray my ribbon a lot. Sometimes the pieces that you pull out make really cool bows also. So, you know, I loosely tie my bow so I can see how much I need, and then I cut it. Maybe I'll show you what it looks like. I'll save these big pieces and I'll show you what that bow would look like. All right. You can get these. Didn't know you were going to be watching me fray ribbon, did you, today? But this is long. These pieces that I pulled out that are long are perfect to make another bow. And I don't know, I'm always looking for ways to extend and use I got all these little pieces now. I think I've got them all out so that what I pull out now should be long pieces, but you never know. All right. And it's going to act up now. Have any of you ever frayed your ribbon? Most of you are probably saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't have time for that. I just love the look, so I do it a lot. And I just, like I said, this one is a little bit harder. Usually they're not this hard to fray. All right, I'm going to stop there, but see, look at that edge. Isn't it fun? All right, I got to think about this. I want that frayed part on the bottom. So I've got to do this. Okay, I'm going to flip it on the back because then this piece that I'm going to stick through here will have the fray on the bottom also. So I'm very good about flipping and adjusting. All right, don't pull it tight till you have it like you want it, because once you pull it tight, there's no adjusting it. Now I'm going to cut my edges here like so. All right, and then this I'm going to put on with a glue dot. And just so you know, when I do my glue dots, I put, all right, first thing I do is I interview my knot to see which side is better. All right, come on, you flipped on me. I'm gonna fix you. I'll glue dot you in place. I put a glue dot on each side of the knot so it doesn't pull out. That's a little too high. Can I get it off without making a mess? Yes, I can. There we go. Now you can see it. So there's that one. Now, let me show you real quick, and then we'll do the last one. What I do is I hold it close to the end and I make a loop. This one is fiddly, so if you don't like fiddly, this is not the bow for you. but I don't mind fiddly. All right. Again, I'm going to pull it and get my loop about the same size. But there's that one. And see, again, you spread it out and it makes just a fun bow and you trim it up. I love that bow. I'm going to save that because I will use that on a card. I always save my bows pieces. All right, so there's card 2. All right, card 3. And this one uses the seashells. Hey, grab my stuff. Let me move this stuff over and out of the way. And I wasn't certain what I was going to do with the seashells. I chose this pattern paper because to me, this reminded me of the umbrellas that you see at the beach. So it's a striped piece. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this together and then we'll do the shells. All right, so I'm going to go portrait with this one. I'm pairing this with Pretty Peacock because it needed a color to go with it. And I thought I could do my shells with the Pretty Peacock and just do it off stamp it so it's really light. I needed something with that pink. All right, this one goes on next. And I didn't want to use the Berry Burst again because this is Bubble Bath and this is Bubble Bath. All right, this piece I'm going to put down near the bottom. So I've moved it from the middle to the bottom. And as you see, all 3 of these cards use the same size pieces and the same basic layout, and I just shifted the cards. All right, this one is going to go this way, and I need to get my dots. I'm going to pull in my paper. Okay. This is one stamp set that, yeah, I like that. Stamp pad that is also acting up. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to stamp this just yet. Hold on. I'm going to stamp my, well, I still need this. I'm going to stamp my shells. And I'm going to start with the dark one. Oops. See, this one is getting kind of hard. It's got stuff on the top. Once it gets hard like that, it's no turning back. So I keep using it in hopes that it will get better. We'll see. You know what? I might stamp the back of this with the pink. I might put that in the cleaner and see. All right, now I'm going to stamp the inside. And this one, got to get it lined, inked up. Yeah. I'm thinking 3 times. Yes. 1, 2, and 3. This one was so much easier to do if you do the outline first. The flowers are the same way. It's just easier to do. All right, now I think I'm going to stamp those dots in the bubble bath. I think they would be pretty in the bubble bath. I hope you agree. All right, so we'll stamp this here. And I'm not gonna, I'm just going to kind of fill it in. I may be making a ink spot with the pretty peacock. I'll keep using it as long as I can. All right, there's that. I'm going to put that on there. So as you can see, I'm looking for my pen. It's hiding. You know, if you're going to do this, if you're going to mass produce, cut all your card bases and plan your cards out, and then cut it. Cut it and you'll have it. Don't you stick yet. Don't stick, don't stick. Come on, come on. Pull it over a little. There, that's better. All right, now let me add some dimensionals. This is, yeah. I got to get that off of there or it will make a mess everywhere. I've got little tiny pieces from my ribbon where I frayed it, those little pieces that came out. That happens when you don't cut perfectly straight, but as you can see, you can't tell I didn't cut straight. So don't worry about it. Just cut it. All right. Excuse me. All right. Now my pokey tool. And I have another ribbon that I have already frayed and tied. So all I have to do is add it. It was one I did for a demonstration into a demo group where they wanted to see different ways to use ribbon. And so I did. All right, this is going to go on like this. Isn't this a great color combination? Pretty peacock with bubble bath. All right, then I took this ribbon and I frayed it. But this time I used the skinny pieces and held the skinny pieces with the two on the side. So I get all these little pieces. And then the other thing that I like is, darn, I got a tickle, is this gets kind of feathery at times when you pull it out. So I've got this ready to go. All I have to do is add it to my card and trim it down. And there are 3 ideas. Can't see my glue dots. All right. And I'm going to put that right there. Pop on this, put this back together, or it'll be stuck somewhere it shouldn't be. And then I'm just going to trim these. All right. Like so. And there you have it. 3 cards, same layout. Let me kind of switch them up. This was my first one. Then as in portrait, then I changed it to landscape. Then I went back to portrait and I moved that piece down, that pattern paper. I mean, you could put it up if most of your image is going to be down here, but a great way to use your pattern paper and come up with different ideas and make quick cards. I mean, as you saw, I've done all of these in about 45 minutes. That's fine, Vicki. I appreciate your coming in. So there they are. Same pattern pack, same stamp set. All I did was change the colors and the ribbon. So I hope you enjoyed it today. You got some ideas. Like I said, I will be cleaning up. Oh, thanks for the hearts. All right, I'm going to get ready and remove this spotlight. spotlight me and get this out of the way so you can see me. All right, there we go. All right, so like I said, this is the pattern paper and the stamp set and dies that I am using for my class in August. So I have 3 levels: beginner, beginner plus, and advanced. So depending on which level you think you are, beginner would be for people who are just starting out. Beginner plus are people who have been making cards a little bit, but maybe aren't real certain. You get supplies. My beginner plus and my advanced class all get some of the DSP, and in this case, I'm using the gems. You'll get some of the gems and then a card kit. So you'll make 8 cards. I show you 4 designs. You make 2 of each design. My PDFs include written directions and a link to the video tutorial showing you how to put it together. So you can easily do this on your own. But if you have problems, just send me an email. I have people who want to try the beginner plus class. And I said, okay, here it is. If you decide you need some help, just send me an email and I help them out. All right, ladies. Like I said, I have a lot to do today. I got to get all my stuff put away where I can find it since she's moved it everywhere. Although I have to admit, she did much, much better about putting things away after I said, you need to put it away so I know where it is. I don't think Zoe will be joining me when I get her in August. She's not a crafter, so, and that's fine. But Remy has always crafted with me, but she started a lot younger than Zoe did, so that might make a difference. All right, guys, I hope, excuse me, I will be live in my private group on Monday night, but I will also be live on YouTube on Wednesday at noon. So join me with your lunch and see some more cards, and we'll have some fun in there. And then I'll be back next Saturday here at 10:30. So you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. Looks like it's going to be a rainy one for me, which is perfect. Yes. All right. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with me. I will see you later. Bye.